The California eLearning Census, trending past the tipping point, may be found at clearn.org/census. cLearn conducted the census to collect accurate virtual and blended learning population information, to report the blended learning models in use, to understand the distribution of course publishers throughout California, and to inform the California State Profile in Keeping Pace 2012. cLearn conducted the census between March and May 2012, contacting 1,634 K-12 school districts and direct funded charters. This report is from 481 districts, representing 30% of the total. So how many students or districts are implementing online learning? We're surprised that 45% of all districts and charters indicated that they were using some form of e-learning. While we understood that e-learning was growing quickly, we didn't anticipate that it was growing this quickly. This data appears to say that we've either passed the tipping point or a point of no return. More surprising to us was that of the districts that were not learning online, nearly a third, 32%, shared they were currently in the planning stages. When added to our prior group, we may find that next year that 63% of all districts are utilizing some form of online or blended learning. The data indicates that a much higher percentage of students are enrolled in online and blended learning in the upper levels, with the majority at the high school level, 83%. What might be surprising is the number of middle schools participating, nearly half. 27% of the elementary schools said they were using online or blended learning. When you break down the population, 19,800 students learned online at full-time virtual schools last year. 86,000 students were blending their learning for a total of 106. Now, because we know the names of the majority of the virtual schools in California, we're able to pull the enrollment data from CBEDS this spring. So we know that the total for virtual schools is about 3,000 more. However, we project there are currently about 210,000 students learning online in California now, representing 3.4% of the student population. We also asked districts whether or not they utilized online learning last summer, 2011. 90 districts said they were, with 23,000 students. Now, when you break down the 2011-2012 data, there was one outlier, Riverside Unified. But of the 481 districts and charters learning online, 216 of them said they were using blended or virtual learning. While the average number of students per district was 504, the median number of students was 80, meaning that half the districts had more than 80 students participating, while the other half had fewer. The median in virtual schools was less, 56. When you break this down even more, a third of virtual schools and nearly a third of blended schools reported that they had fewer than 30 students each participating. When you go up to 100 students each, you can add another 28% to virtual and 27% to blended schools. So in all, 61% of virtual and 57% of blended districts had fewer than 100 students each participating. Of the 4 blended learning models, the most popular model is the self-blend, followed by the hybrid virtual school, a model used by independent study schools in California. This seems to indicate that non-consumers, students are using e-learning to supplement their transcripts, or schools that provide online courses not offered in the classroom, are a driving force. 29% said they were using rotation, and 17% flex. Surprising to us was that nearly a third, 31%, said they were using more than one blended learning model. Taking a look at course publishers, you can see the distributions here. The most popular currently are K12.com and Apex. But surprising to us was that nearly a quarter, 23%, said they were using more than one commercial publisher. Now, OER, Open Education Resources, digital materials available for free or very low cost from other sources, including Khan Academy and the National Repository of Online Courses, are helping districts add a digital component without investing in developing or acquiring content. Districts and direct funded charters also indicated they were utilizing supplemental software or internet resources or open source materials for online and blended learning, in addition to or instead of licensed courses. Now, nearly a quarter of these said they were using more than one source. Now, districts and direct funded charters who responded they were currently discussing or planning to implement online learning were asked to share any programs or models they're planning to pilot or implement. Their comments sorted into two groups: those districts that were in the beginning stages, researching, discussing, and planning. The second group was more focused, having constructed models they plan to implement next year. Many of these focused on independent study programs, court and community schools, and credit recovery. Others, though, were focused on a variety of blended learning models, including flipped classrooms. The challenge to create or find high-quality courses, though, is ongoing. In August 2012, the University of California announced a partnership with eLearn to certify online high school courses that may fulfill UC's A to G subject requirements. eLearn certified courses are eligible for approval by the University of California as fulfilling the A to G subject requirements for freshman submission. Superintendent Torlakson shared, the UC eLearn partnership will be a key tool by ensuring that kids who graduate high school in California go on prepared to succeed in college and careers. To earn eLearn certified status, online courses must address at least 80% of the course's content standards and 80% of INACOL standards for quality online courses. 15 online power standards must be among those verified by eLearn. Based on census data projections, and our partnership with the University of California, eLearn is prepared for and has already received an influx of online course submissions for the 2012-13 review year. In addition to the 5 subjects currently reviewed, eLearn will add world language course reviews this winter. Next spring, eLearn will begin to work to add the next generation science standards, as well as course descriptions for Mathematics Common Core state standards. Because nearly half of all middle schools reported some participation in online or blended learning, eLearn expects to begin reviewing grades 6 to 8 courses during 2013-14. The California eLearning Census found that public school districts and direct-funded charter schools are quickly adopting online or blended learning, ranging from offering individual courses to students such as AP Calculus to full-time virtual courses. Census data reflects that 45% of districts and charters utilize online or blended learning in 579 schools, affecting a critical mass of districts and charters. The data, though, shows that while implementation is fairly wide, it is currently a relatively shallow pool, affecting just 3.4% of the total California student population. A significant number of districts and charters, though, had fewer than 30 students participating, online or blended. This is to be expected with any disruptive innovation. While Clayton Christensen's and Michael Horn's book, Disrupting Class, How Disruptive Innovation Will Change the Way the World Learns, predicted that online learning would reach a tipping point in 2013, and with e-learning growing up to 30% each year, census data seems to indicate that this revolution is either trending towards or may have already passed a tipping point, particularly when accounting for the large number of census respondents that indicated they were in the planning stages to implement e-learning next year. The California eLearning Census was created by CLEARN as part of its mission to inform K-12 educators about high-quality CLEARN certified online courses, highlight e-learning's steady growth, trends, and resources, and understand districts' needs so that we can continue to provide relevant services to our customers. Online and blended learning, while not new, have continued to grow consistently as districts and charters seek new ways to serve their students. With this revolution trending towards or surpassing the tipping point, e-learning enters its adolescence. Like all teenagers, continued guidance will be necessary to ensure it becomes a responsible adult.